Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are going to be talking about all of the events from Tuesday, July 6th of 2021. It was, yet again, another busy day, which is totally great. I'm loving the state visit. I am really happy that it's happening at the same time as Wales Week for the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall. The only thing that is making me kind of wary, I guess, about the next month is that I'm not sure everything's happening at once, so I feel like we're really gonna hit a slump in like the next week. It's fine, it's just a matter of, okay, this week seems like it's gonna be busy, and then we're gonna just drop off. Also, I know there's a lot of background noise today. I have fans running because it's kind of hot today. Like, it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 7:30 p.m. And before I was even up this morning, it was already like 82 degrees. So usually I will turn fans and air conditioning off while I'm recording, but it's too hot to do that today. So I apologize, but this is where we're at. Okay, we are gonna jump right in with the Belgian royal family. Belgium today, there was one event. So if you recall, yesterday I was talking about how it does look like there are some events on the calendar this week for the Belgians, which is something I truly did not expect, just because of how they have, at least in the year that I've been following them closely, how they have done summer break. Now, of course, this doesn't take into account that, we were living in the middle of a pandemic last summer. So today, King Philippe visited the Vogelzangbeek Nature Reserve is how I think you say that. I don't speak Dutch and or French, so yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it is a location that does a lot of work on conservation, as well as there's an agricultural testing site nearby, like right next to the park area, that is doing a lot of work in developing young farmers, and making sure that their future business or current business is running sustainably, which is of course super important for the world. And I don't know, I think it was just like a weird change of pace. The thing, like, with this particular time is, for Belgium, they just lost the Euro, like, they lost their Euro game, and now we're gearing up for the Olympics, but it felt like there was, like, a sport theme going for a while, and now, like, that's not happening. And so these are events that we just really haven't seen a lot of for the past year because pandemic. It's not COVID focused, but these events are probably what happened pre-COVID. It's just, for me, who didn't follow a lot of royal families closely, like, I knew the highlights, but, like, the day-to-day events I really didn't know, which is why I started this podcast, because I would listen to ones and they were only focused on the British royals, and of course only in that, like, a particular few. And so while I know those are the most popular, like, I had a general interest in everybody. And so I wanted to know what they were up to and, like, what each royal family does and what their differences are between the British royals and also, like, others. And so that's what I started this because of. But so I'm not sure if this was, like, part of King Philippe's pre-COVID kind of deal, just because this is the second summer I've been following him. So anyway, it is a pretty cool event. It looks like that's going to be kind of, there's an event, not tomorrow, on the 8th, and then that's all that's really scheduled out right now. So that is what was going on in Belgium. So now we are going to go over to the British royal family. We are continuing with Wales Week Day 2. Today, both the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall were taking on engagements. Today, Charles visited a company called River Simple, which is a company that is focused on building hydrogen-powered cars. So where the only emission from these cars is water. And so obviously they are extremely eco-friendly, and right up Charles's, like, wheelhouse. He is the eco-friendly royal. And so he was able to test drive them. Took a tour of I wouldn't call it a factory because it wasn't big enough that I would categorize it as a factory, but, like, definitely where they built them. And he was able to talk to staff and some, just to learn about why they started this and things like that. So that was really cool. That was his only, like, event, like, where he went and visited and did, like, a, quote, working visit. And then he also took a meeting, or held a meeting, with the poet laureate. His name is Simon Armitage, and they met at Charles's, like, Wales, the official residence for the Prince of Wales. So that was Charles's day, and then the Duchess of Cornwall today visited a town called Hay-on-Wye, I think, which is, quote, the world's first book town, and they host an annual book festival called the Hay Festival, which is focused on complete literary everything. So presumably there are several bookstores on in the town in general. And the culture is very much focused on books and literature and bookstores. And so right in line with Camilla's interest, one of her big things is literacy and books, and she has her own book club and all of this. So I think it was really great. So she was able to visit a couple of the bookstores. She also met with the organizers of the Hay Festival. So this year, because pandemic, most of the festival was held, actually the whole festival was held digitally, and Camilla sent the opening greeting. I think I talked about it. I honestly don't remember. So that was what was going on for her. She was given a cute little bouquet of paper flowers that were very made of book pages. It was cute. And just a fun, perfectly suited to her kind of day. So that is what was going on kind of public facing in the UK. So now I am going to take a peek at the court circular, because I realized yesterday, after I had finished recording and all of that I actually didn't talk about the court circular. There wasn't anything that happened that I hadn't already talked about, but still. So I'm gonna peek at the one for today. Okay, I don't think they have shared about this. They hadn't. In fact, I even checked. So today, Queen Elizabeth received new ambassadors via video link from Ghana and Iran. And then we have the Prince of Wales visited River Simple, met with the Poet Laureate. Oh, wow, okay. So then it goes on to talk about, it also looks like she was part of the meeting with the Poet Laureate, but wasn't pictured. Maybe they met separately or something like that. Anyway, she visited three bookstores and the ice cream shop at, in Hay on Wye. So that's really fun. So that is today. I do know tomorrow the Duke of Cambridge will be at the England-Denmark Euro game. So we'll talk about that obviously tomorrow. And I've decided that's when I'll talk about both of the semifinal games. So today's and tomorrow's. Because William will be, and that's really, the whole point of the podcast is Royals. You're just on my journey of becoming a football fan, which is a thing now. So anyway, that is what was going on in the British royal family. So now we are going to move over to Denmark. Today in Denmark, there was one event, and it was something that was actually on the calendar, which I'm so excited about. But today, Queen Margrethe, or this evening, I guess, rather. Anyway, Queen Margrethe hosted a reception for locals, local officials, etc. at near Gråsten Palace or Castle. And so this is the easiest way to compare this to anything, because obviously these didn't happen last year. So every every summer, Queen Elizabeth will hold a series of garden parties for various, people. And that's kind of what this is. It's like a garden party for the people of the town, and also, people of the town who have made an impact on society for whatever reason. So that was hosted today by Queen Margrethe with her sister in attendance as well. And it had it seems like it had a couple of concert components to it from an all-girls choir, or maybe it was the same choir, just split up to indoor-outdoor. I don't know, it looked very interesting, but the description was not super helpful. Which, look, it's okay. It's just sometimes things aren't as helpful in terms of descriptors as I need, because these aren't my countries. So, I'm not from any of these countries, and what is shared does not always make sense to me. So I'm looking through now. I think this might be the last official. Oh. Okay. I'm not entirely sure that this means they'll be there in person, but initially there was nothing on the calendar till next week for Denmark, but they just added at some point today the Crown Prince couple, which is Crown Prince Frederick and Crown Princess Mary, as well as Prince Christian, will be watching the European Championship match in football, the Denmark-England semifinal, which is tomorrow. So I don't know if they'll be in London at Wembley, which is where the game is, or at the official Denmark watch party in Copenhagen. I'm just not sure which one, but either way, that's exciting. So anyway, that's kind of what's ahead. Obviously, like I said, I will talk tomorrow about the Euro Cup semifinals. Spoiler alert, Spain lost today, and I'm really upset about it. But anyway, that is what is going on in Denmark. So now we are going to move on to the Dutch royal family. Today was state visit to Germany day 2, and it was busy. Shocking. Look, I love a good state visit. The amount of engagements is amazing. I also think this is the fun part. I talked about this yesterday. This is why I wanted to do this podcast initially, and why I would still like to do this podcast, but I have found that it is fun to talk about the normal everyday events too, because those have a lot of value. So today there were quite a few things going on. So we'll start with the first event of the day, which was a visit to the German Parliament building, which is called, I think, the Bundestag. So they met with the president of the Bundestag, which I think would be similar, if you're from the States, it would be similar to the Speaker of the House, or the head of that body of government. So They did that. They took a tour of the building and then finally met with representatives of the Benelux parliamentary group, which is, so Benelux, for those who have like never heard that term, Benelux is Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. And it's a very specific like region in Europe. It's a very small region, comprised of those three countries that at some point were all kind of a country. Like Belgium broke off from the Netherlands, I think is the way that went. Maybe it was vice versa. One of those two ways happened, and the same with Luxembourg as well. And they're all right near Germany. So that was the first event. Then they visited a museum of modern art called, I think, Gropius Bau. Here's the thing. I don't speak German, much like I don't speak Dutch, French, or any of the Scandinavian languages. Y'all, I speak English and Spanish. I would like to learn a couple more languages, but I haven't gotten there yet. Learning Spanish is like a full-time job. Okay, so this museum, the things that Willem Alexander and Maxima visited were focused on using newer sustainable materials and also creating like a sustainable circular design element in terms of like creating new art out of old art, essentially. So that was the second event of the day. Then King Willem Alexander gave a speech at the Federal Council, which is where I got really confused. So the 16 prime ministers of the German federal states meet at this body, and that's who King Willem Alexander addressed. I didn't know that's how Germany worked. Look, I talk about 7 countries every day. I'm invested in the politics of like 4 countries every day, including my own. I don't want to know how every government system works, but I am feeling really confused about Germany. That's something I'll dive into on my own time, but like, just, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to German politics. I get who the chancellor is, and that's really about it anymore. I thought I understood it yesterday, and then they threw this in the loop, and now I'm just really confused. So anyway, that happened. I have not listened to the speech. I do think it was given in German, maybe. Maybe it wasn't. I honestly don't know. But I have read that it was very well received. And then after Willem Alexander gave his speech, he and Queen Maxima met with Chancellor Merkel. And it was a private meeting. They didn't really talk about it. They posed for pictures and then held the meeting. So the only thing that they shared is that she has been chancellor since 2005. And like I mentioned recently, she will not be seeking to be chancellor again for the first time in a very long time this fall, which is, it's going to be very strange to not see her on the global stage. So in 2005, I was 12-ish. And so like my entire paying attention to politics of the US, she's been involved. And so it'll be very strange. But I think it's been really cool to like be able to talk about Angela Merkel quite a bit in the past couple of days. Okay, so then their final daytime event today, they attended a symposium on hydrogen, which focused on the Dutch and German economic relationship, focused on that endeavor. And then there was also like a virtual reality element. So here's the thing, you guys. Queen Maxima has her own fashion taste, and I'm okay. Like, I frequently do not like it, but that's okay. It's not, I'm not wearing it, so I don't care. But she had this hat on, and she's worn it before, and I liked it before. And I'm thinking it's because her hair was up, and like there were additional elements, like a face mask and things like that, where I'm just like, no, this hat is really bad. But then to have the hat on with a VR headset, I don't think she had to have a mask on at this, like, in this moment, but like, just, it was too much. But it was really also kind of funny because, like, I think by this point in the day, I had gotten over my, like, oh my god, this woman in her hats moment. Like, yesterday, I thought she looked great all day. Today, the dress was a win. She looked good. It's just that fascinator does not work with your hair up. Again, whatever. I'm not wearing it. It's okay. But, and then this evening, she looked great. So, it was just really funny to see that hat with a VR headset on. Okay, and then to end the day completely, King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima hosted a concert for the German president and the First Lady as a kind of like a counter thank you, like it's a thank you for your hospitality kind of thing, and this is pretty normal. Not every country I think has some form of this. It's always done a little bit differently, but like this is a part of it. Like Denmark also typically will host a concert. Spain will have their normally for an incoming state visit will host a second, like the incoming country will host a second reception in a more casual space. And so that's what this was. And it was great, wonderful, fantastic. So this was day 2 of the state visit. Tomorrow is the last day. I've chosen to like not memorize the schedule, just for like my own sanity's sake. But so I don't know how many events there are tomorrow, but we'll talk about it then. So with that, we are going to move over to the Spanish royal family. Today in Spain, we are on day 2 of an incredibly busy work week. You guys, I was so hoping that would end with a trip of King Felipe at least to Wembley, but again, Spain lost, and now my hopes are crushed. Anyway, so sad. So anyway, today King Felipe held an audience with the Deputy Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs for Kazakhstan, who is currently on a working visit to Spain. So again, this is part of that any foreign diplomat, dignitary, anything along those lines. Maybe not a diplomat, but like anyone officially in the federal government of another country will typically be received by the monarch, even if it's just for like a quick hi, hello, here's your photo, so you can come back with some, some clout. So that was today's meeting, and then Queen Letizia today attended a meeting of the Abertis Foundation, which is, so Abertis is a infrastructure company that basically is specializes in toll roads, and which I found very confusing. And then their foundation is focused on like building sustainable roads in developing countries. But, and this is where Queen Letizia comes in, they partner with UNICEF on a couple of things. So I think Queen Letizia is like honorary president or patron or something for UNICEF Spain. I'm never entirely sure what, unless they make direct mention of what like their affiliation is, I don't just know what their affiliation is. Like, there are some organizations where Letizia is a very strong supporter, but does not actually have like an official role. Like, she's not officially patron or officially anything, to my knowledge. But if they make a direct mention of it, I can repeat that and then store it in my brain. But this is UNICEF. I think she's like honorary president of UNICEF Spain, but I'm not entirely sure. And so that's what the meeting was focused on, was about the partnership with UNICEF. And then afterwards, she visited the display outside the Abertis Foundation, or the Abertis corporate building, which highlighted the 75th anniversary of the creation of UNICEF, which is the UN's like child fund. It's the foundation for children within the United Nations, essentially. And so she visited that in the rain. It was so sad, but it gave me more. I still don't know why, but like I love a good picture of really anybody under an umbrella. Like, I don't know, it just looks so wonderful, but it's also miserable. Like, I hate rain. We're about to go into like 5 days straight of pouring rain, and I'm so sad about it. But anyway, so those were the two events today in Spain. Like I said, it's gonna be a busy week. I think Spain is gonna probably keep going through the first week in August, and then we'll probably take 2 or 3 weeks off. But they're kind of the only family for sure that's like gonna go full steam ahead until then. So anyway, that is what is going on in Spain. That is where we end this, because there are no events in Sweden today. We won't see them for like a week, at least according to the calendar. There could be a pop-up event here or there, but more than likely it'll be about a week. There are paparazzi pictures all over the place, but I don't talk about those. So anyway, that is where we're at. Tune in tomorrow for our talk about the Euro Cup semifinals, which is an odd thing to say in a royal podcast, but I swear it will have royal relation to it, at least, especially if William and Frederick and Mary and Christian are there. You know, lots of things. And we'll talk about the final day of the state visit to Germany and anything else that may pop up. And so with that, I'm going to end this episode. Please check out thedailyroyal.com. The Daily Royal on Instagram, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic Wednesday. Bye.